Let me share with you what actually happens in consciousness during a 72-hour period following a true change in your assumption. The first 24 hours are crucial, as this is when your new assumption begins to take root in your subconscious mind. The second 24 hours strengthen this new pattern, and by the third day, a complete transformation of consciousness has occurred. Many of you wonder why your manifestations seem to take so long, why your reality doesn't immediately reflect your desires. But I tell you this, there is a specific period of gestation for every seed planted in consciousness, just as there is for every seed planted in the earth. 72 hours represents a complete cycle of transformation in consciousness. Consider this. In Scripture, we read of the 3 days Christ spent in the tomb before his resurrection. This is not merely a historical account, but a profound psychological truth. Every transformation in consciousness requires 3 days. It's 72 hours before externalization begins. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your entire approach to manifestation. You stop wondering when your desire will manifest and start understanding the precise law that governs all manifestation. You recognize that time is not an enemy, but a necessary component of psychological gestation. Let me tell you something vital about these 72 hours. They begin the moment you completely accept your desire as an accomplished fact. Not when you start wishing for it, not when you start affirming it, but when you actually accept it as done in your consciousness. Here's a profound truth about this 72-hour period. It operates whether you believe in it or not. Just as a seed will take a specific time to germinate, regardless of whether you understand the process, your assumption will take approximately 72 hours to begin its manifestation, regardless of your conscious beliefs about timing. Think about this. Every major change in your life was preceded by a change in your consciousness approximately 72 hours before its physical manifestation. You may not have been aware of it, but this law was operating nonetheless. This law operates in consciousness with absolute precision, transforming your entire world through a specific sequence that unfolds over these 72 hours. Let me break down for you exactly what happens during this crucial period of transformation. In the first 24 hours, something profound begins to occur in your consciousness. The moment you truly accept your desire as an accomplished fact, your entire inner world begins to reorganize itself around this new assumption. Old patterns of thought begin to dissolve, and a new pattern starts to form. Many of you have experienced fleeting moments of acceptance, only to fall back into doubt and disbelief. But I tell you this, if you can maintain your new assumption for just 72 hours, holding it as true regardless of external evidence, you will set in motion forces that manifest in its manifestation. Consider this. When a woman conceives, she doesn't immediately see external evidence of her pregnancy. Yet from the very first moment of conception, forces are at work within her body, preparing for the manifestation of new life. The same is true of your consciousness during these first 24 hours. During the second 24-hour period, something even more remarkable occurs. Your new assumption begins to affect your subjective world, your thoughts, your feelings, your natural reactions to events. You begin to think from your desire fulfilled rather than of it. Let me tell you something crucial about this second day. This is often when doubt tries to creep in. The external world may still show no evidence of change, and your rational mind may try to convince you that nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, massive reorganization is taking place. Here's a profound truth about the second day. It's the period of death to the old man. Just as Christ spent the second day in the tomb, this is when your old patterns of thought and belief must die to make way for the new. This can feel uncomfortable, even disconcerting, but it's absolutely necessary. Think about this. Every transformation in nature goes through a period where the old form must die before the new can emerge. The caterpillar must cease to be a caterpillar before it can become a butterfly. The same principle applies to your consciousness during these crucial 72 hours. The very discomfort you might feel during this period is evidence that transformation is occurring. Your old patterns of thought and belief are dissolving, making way for your new assumption to take root and grow. The final 24 hours of this 72-hour period are perhaps the most crucial, for this is when the complete transformation of consciousness occurs. This is the period of resurrection, when your new assumption becomes so natural that you can no longer remember how it felt to be in your former state. Let me share with you exactly what happens during these final 24 hours. Your new assumption, which has been gestating in the depths of your consciousness, begins to rise to the surface. It no longer feels like something you're trying to believe, it simply feels like what is. Many of you might experience what seems like a moment of crisis during this final period. But I tell you this, what appears to be a crisis is often a breaking point where the old must give way to the new. It's the darkness before the dawn, the final resistance of the old man before the new man rises. Consider this. In Scripture, it was during the final hours in the tomb that the resurrection occurred. Not gradually, not partially, but in one complete transformation. The same is true of your consciousness during these final 24 hours. The transformation, when it comes, is complete. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your experience of these 72 hours. You stop seeing them as a period of waiting and start recognizing them as a sacred time of transformation. Each hour becomes precious, each moment significant. Let me tell you something vital about these final hours. They often bring what appears to be a complete contradiction to your desire. This is what I call the moment of greatest appearance of failure. But remember, appearances are merely the shadow of past assumptions, not the reality of your present consciousness. Here's a profound truth about this final period. It's when your outer world begins to respond to your new inner conviction. Things begin to shift, often in ways you couldn't have consciously planned or anticipated. People begin to treat you differently. Circumstances begin to rearrange themselves. Think about this. Every great transformation in history appeared darkest just before its completion. The crucifixion preceded the resurrection. The darkest hour comes just before dawn. This principle is reflected in your own consciousness during these final hours. The very circumstances that seem to deny your assumption are often the ones being rearranged to accommodate its fulfillment. What appears to be resistance is actually reorganization. This reorganization of your outer world follows an immutable pattern, much like the transformation of your inner consciousness. Just as a seed must break through the soil that appears to resist it, your new assumption must break through the appearances of your current reality. Let me share with you what actually happens in your outer world during this period. People who seemed indifferent to you suddenly become helpful. Circumstances that appeared fixed begin to shift. Opportunities that weren't visible before suddenly present themselves. All of this occurs not by chance, by law. Many of you observe your outer world anxiously during these 72 hours, looking for signs of change. But I tell you this, the changes are occurring whether you can see them or not. Just as a plant grows beneath the soil before breaking through to the surface, your manifestation is taking form before becoming visible. Consider this: when you plant a seed, the soil must be disturbed. Old patterns must be broken up to make way for new growth. The same is true of your outer world during these 72 hours. What appears as disruption is actually the rearrangement necessary for your new assumption to manifest. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your response to external circumstances during this period. You stop being disturbed by appearances that seem to contradict your assumption. You recognize them as necessary adjustments in the grand pattern of manifestation. Let me tell you something crucial about this reorganization. It often occurs in ways that your conscious mind could never have planned. The wisdom of your subconscious mind, which is one with infinite intelligence, knows exactly how to bring about the conditions necessary for your assumption to materialize. Here's a profound truth about this outer reorganization. It follows the path of least resistance. While your conscious mind might imagine complicated scenarios requiring massive changes, your subconscious mind finds the simplest, most natural way to bring about your desire's fulfillment. Think about this. Every desire you hold contains within itself the seeds of its own fulfillment. When you plant that desire in consciousness through your assumption, it begins to attract and arrange everything necessary for its manifestation. This arrangement often occurs in ways that appear miraculous to the conscious mind. The very circumstances that seem to stand in the way of your desire often become the means of its fulfillment. This is the wisdom of the law operating through the perfect pattern of the 72-hour principle. This pattern unfolds in your experience with a precision that would astonish you if you could see it from a higher perspective. Every thought, every encounter, every seemingly random event during these 72 hours is part of an intricate dance orchestrated by your new assumption. Let me share with you what's actually occurring moment by moment during this period. Your consciousness, having accepted the new assumption, begins to attract corresponding experiences. People begin to treat you according to your new concept of self. Circumstances begin to mirror your inner conviction. This isn't coincidence, it's law. Many of you wonder why certain people suddenly change their behavior toward you, why new opportunities suddenly appear, why solutions to old problems suddenly become clear. But I tell you this, nothing is sudden about it. Each change is the result of your shifted consciousness working through the perfect pattern of these 72 hours. Consider this: when you drop a pebble into a pond, the ripples move outward in perfect circles, affecting every part of the water's surface. Your assumption works in the same way during these 72 hours, sending ripples through the entire fabric of your reality, touching every aspect of your world. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your awareness during this period. You begin to recognize every event, every conversation, every seemingly random occurrence as part of the pattern of fulfillment. Nothing is meaningless. Everything is significant. Let me tell you something vital about this unfolding pattern. It requires no effort on your part beyond maintaining your assumption. You don't need to make things happen. You don't need to manipulate circumstances. The pattern unfolds by law, not by effort. Here's a profound truth about these 72 hours. They represent a complete cycle of transformation, from death of the old to birth of the new. Just as the moon moves through its phases, just as the earth rotates through day and night, your consciousness moves through this perfect pattern of transformation. Think about this. Every great master who ever walked the earth taught this same truth in different words. 3 days in the tomb, the third day resurrection, the threefold pattern of transformation. They were all pointing to this same law that operates in consciousness through the 72-hour cycle. The very experiences you encounter during this period, whether they appear positive or negative, are all part of the perfect pattern of fulfillment. Nothing is out of place. Nothing is accidental. To recognize and work with this pattern requires a complete reversal of your usual way of thinking. Instead of looking to external events for evidence, you must maintain an unshakable awareness of your assumptions, reality these 72 hours. Let me share with you exactly how to maintain this awareness as the pattern unfolds. When you wake each morning during this period, your first thought must be from the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. Before your feet touch the floor, before your mind engages with the day's activities, you must renew your awareness of already being who you desire to be. Many of you start your days by immediately checking external reality for signs of change. But I tell you this, the external will not show evidence until the full 72-hour cycle is complete. Your task during this time is to live from your new assumption regardless of appearances. Consider this: when an actor takes on a role, they must maintain that character's consciousness throughout the entire performance. They can't drop in and out of character and expect to give a convincing performance. The same is true of your new assumption during these 72 hours. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your daily experience. You stop living in anticipation of change and start living from the consciousness of the change already accomplished. This is the secret of working with the pattern rather than against it. Let me tell you something crucial about maintaining this awareness. It's not about forcing yourself to believe something. It's about allowing yourself to feel the naturalness of your new state. The more natural it feels, the more powerfully the pattern works. Here's a profound truth about these 72 hours. Your every reaction, your every response, your every inner conversation must spring from your new assumption. This isn't about pretending or affirming. It's about actually occupying your desired state in consciousness. Think about this. Every time you react from your old state of consciousness, you interrupt the pattern. Every time you respond from your new assumption, you strengthen it. The pattern requires consistency in consciousness to work its perfect law. The very circumstances that tempt you to react from your old state are actually opportunities to strengthen your new assumption. Each challenge is a chance to prove the reality of your inner transformation. These challenging moments during the 72 hours are not obstacles to your manifestation. They are vital parts of the pattern itself. They are opportunities to prove the reality of your new state in consciousness. Let me share with you exactly what to do when these moments arise. When circumstances seem to contradict your assumption, when people act contrary to your desired experience, when everything appears to be moving in the opposite direction. These are the moments when your new consciousness must be maintained with even greater conviction. Many of you interpret challenging circumstances as evidence that your assumption isn't working. But I tell you this, these very circumstances are part of the bridge of incidents, necessary events that must occur to bring about the fulfillment of your desire. They are not obstacles, but stepping stones. Consider this. When you're driving at night, the headlights illuminate only a small portion of the road ahead. Yet you trust that as you continue moving forward, more of the path will be revealed. The same trust is required during these 72 hours. You don't need to see the entire path. You need only maintain your assumption. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your response to challenging circumstances. Instead of being discouraged by apparent contradictions, you begin to welcome them as confirmation that the old patterns are dissolving to make way for the new. Let me tell you something vital about these challenging moments. They often intensify just before the manifestation of your desire. This intensification is not a sign of failure, but a sign that the old patterns are making their final stand before dissolving completely. Here's a profound truth about handling these moments. Your only task is to remain faithful to your assumption. You don't need to fight circumstances, argue with appearances, or try to force changes. Your task is simply to maintain your consciousness of the wish fulfilled. Think about this. Every great manifestation in history was preceded by a period of apparent contradiction. The darkest hour comes just before dawn. The seed must completely break down before the new plant can emerge. These are not merely poetic metaphors. They are descriptions of the law in operation. The very circumstances that seem most opposed to your desire are often the ones being rearranged to bring about its fulfillment. What appears as resistance is actually reorganization. This process of reorganization during the 72 hours follows a precise pattern that, understood, will transform your entire approach to manifestation. What appears as chaos in your outer world is actually perfect order taking shape according to your new assumption. Let me share with you what's actually happening during this reorganization. Your entire world, every person, every circumstance, every condition must adjust itself to match your new assumption. This adjustment often appears as disruption before the new pattern emerges. Many of you become discouraged when your world appears to be falling apart during these 72 hours. But I tell you this, what appears to be falling apart is actually falling into place. The old patterns must dissolve before the new patterns can emerge, just as old structures must be demolished before new ones can be built. Consider this: when you rearrange furniture in a room, there's always a moment when everything appears to be in chaos. The room looks worse before it looks better. The same principle applies to the reorganization of your world during these 72 hours. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your perception of change. You stop resisting the apparent chaos and start recognizing it as a necessary part of the reorganization. You understand that disorder is often the prelude to a new and higher order. Let me tell you something crucial about this reorganization. It affects not only your external circumstances, but also your inner world. Old thought patterns dissolve, old emotional responses fade away, old habits naturally fall aside as your new assumption takes root. Here's a profound truth about this process. It works with mathematical precision. Just as water must reach 212 degrees Fahrenheit to boil, just as a seed must remain in darkness before it sprouts, your consciousness must maintain your assumption for approximately 72 hours for complete reorganization to occur. Think about this. Every major shift in your life followed this same pattern, whether you were conscious of it or not. A change in consciousness always preceded a change in circumstance by approximately 72 hours. This is not coincidence, it is law. The very disruption you experience during this period is evidence that the law is working. Your world is reorganizing itself to match your new assumption with perfect precision. This precision of the law operating through the 72-hour principle is as exact as any law in physics or mathematics. It operates with the same certainty that brings dawn after night, spring after winter, harvest after planting. Let me share with you exactly how this precision manifests in your experience. During these 72 hours, everything, every word you speak, every action you take is either aligned with your new assumption or contradicts it. There is no neutral ground. The law registers everything with perfect precision. Many of you wonder why some manifestations seem to come easily while others appear to resist your efforts. But I tell you this, the law is never working more or less effectively. The only variable is your consciousness, your ability to maintain your assumption consistently throughout the 72-hour period. Consider this: when you drop an object, gravity doesn't sometimes work and sometimes fail. It operates with perfect precision every time. The same is true of this law of consciousness. Your assumption, held steadily for 72 hours, must manifest with the same certainty that a released object must fall. When you truly understand this principle, something remarkable happens to your approach to manifestation. You stop hoping and start knowing. You stop pleading and start accepting. You stop wondering if it will work and start living from the certainty that it must work. Let me tell you something vital about this precision. It operates independently of your past experiences, your current circumstances, or others' opinions. The law responds only to your consciousness, your assumption maintained over these 72 hours. Here's a profound truth about this precise operation of law. It works the same way for everyone every time. Just as mathematics doesn't play favorites, just as gravity doesn't discriminate, this law operates with perfect precision for anyone who applies it correctly. Think about this. Every successful manifestation you've ever experienced, whether consciously or unconsciously, followed this precise pattern. The law didn't bend or make exceptions. It simply outpictured with mathematical precision whatever you assumed to be true. The very precision that seems to work against you when you doubt is the same precision that works for you when you maintain your assumption. The law is always working with perfect accuracy. Working with this precision requires a complete understanding of how consciousness operates during these 72 hours. Your every thought, your every inner conversation, your every feeling must align with your assumption with the same precision that a mathematician applies to equations. Let me share with you exactly how to maintain this precise alignment. When you wake in the morning, your first thought must be from your new state. When you go about your day, your inner conversations must reflect your assumption. When you fall asleep at night, you must sleep as though your desire is already fulfilled. Many of you approach manifestation with a mixture of old and new states, shifting between doubt and belief, between old patterns and new assumptions. But I tell you this, the law requires precision. You cannot serve two masters. You must choose your assumption and maintain it with unwavering fidelity. Consider this: when a watchmaker assembles a timepiece, every gear, every spring, every component must be precisely aligned. A single misaligned piece affects the entire mechanism. The same is true of your consciousness during these 72 hours. Every aspect must be in perfect alignment. When you truly grasp this principle, something remarkable happens to your mental discipline. You become acutely aware of your thoughts, your inner conversations, your reactions. You recognize that each mental movement either supports or undermines your assumption. Let me tell you something crucial about this precision. It extends to your emotional state as well. You must feel with the same precision that you think. The feeling of your wish fulfilled must be so precise that it becomes your dominant emotional state. Here's a profound truth about working with this precision. It requires constant vigilance during these 72 hours. You cannot afford mental laziness or emotional indulgence in the old state. Every moment must be lived from your new assumption with mathematical precision. Think about this. Just as a scientist in a laboratory must maintain precise conditions for an experiment to succeed, you must maintain precise conditions in consciousness for your instruction to manifest. There can be no contamination from doubts, no dilution with fears. The very precision that makes this law seem demanding is what makes it infallible. When you maintain your assumption with mathematical accuracy, the law must respond with equal precision.
Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine holding a life of unimaginable wealth in your hands, not in some distant future, but as if it already exists. Feel the texture of that life, the freedom, the ease, the joy it brings. This is not wishful thinking, it is the power that transforms lives. We live in a world where reality constantly demands our attention, chaining us to what is visible and measurable. But the truth is, the visible is only a reflection of the invisible. The wealth you seek will never arrive if you anchor your mind solely in what is. Instead, to become super rich, you must shift your focus from reality to the unseen, to the vision of the life you desire. The first step is to understand this: the outer world is nothing but a mirror of your inner state. If you see lack, it's because your inner dialogue echoes with scarcity. If you see limitation, it's because your imagination has not been allowed to roam free. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you summon by aligning your inner consciousness with abundance. Your present circumstances are only shadows of your past beliefs. To change them, stop giving energy to what you see and begin to focus on what you desire. Imagine vividly that you are already wealthy. How do you feel? How do you act? What does your life look like? Immerse yourself in that feeling until it becomes more real to you than the world around you. It is not enough to hope or want, you must embody the certainty that it already is. Doubt is the language of limitation. The moment you allow doubt to seep in, you reinforce the reality you're trying to escape. The path to wealth is a narrow one because it requires unyielding faith. Guard your mind as you would a treasure chest, allowing no thought of failure or scarcity to take root. When you plant a seed, do you dig it up every day to check if it's growing? No, you trust the process, knowing the seed will sprout in due time. Wealth works the same way. Your job is not to figure out how it will come. Your job is to align yourself with the feeling of already having it, trusting that the invisible forces of creation will arrange the rest. Words carry immense power. Speak about your wealth as though it's already yours. Declare it with conviction, even if the outer world hasn't caught up yet. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are not lying to yourself. You are commanding reality to align with your vision. Gratitude is the bridge between desire and manifestation. Be thankful not for what you have now, but for the wealth you know is on its way. When you live in gratitude, you tell the universe, "I trust you. I know you've already delivered my riches." And in that trust, miracles unfold. The moments before sleep are sacred. As you drift into unconsciousness, your mind is most impressionable. Visualize your wealthy life just before sleep, feeling the joy and security it brings. This practice sows seeds of abundance deep into your subconscious, where they will grow and bear fruit. Wealth is not a destination, it is a state of being. It is not reserved for a select few, it is available to anyone who dares to claim it. The key is to stop reacting to what is and start creating what will be. Shift your focus away from reality, not to escape it, but to reshape it. In the unseen lies the foundation of all visible wealth. Dare to believe, dare to feel, and dare to claim the riches that are already yours. The world will follow your lead, for creation begins not in action but in imagination. Wealth is not elusive. It is not a privilege granted to a select few. It is a state of consciousness, a mindset, a decision. To possess wealth outwardly, you must first possess it inwardly. It is not achieved through hard labor alone or through mere luck. It is a deliberate act of shifting your focus, a mastery of the unseen forces that govern reality. You are not at the mercy of external circumstances, for the power to change them lies entirely within you. Do not allow the noise of the external world to distract you from the truth. What you see with your physical eyes is not the ultimate reality. It is a reflection, a projection of the beliefs and feelings you hold deep within. If you look around and see lack, it is only because lack has found a place in your consciousness. If you see struggle, it is because struggle has become the story you tell yourself. But just as easily as you created these conditions, you can uncreate them and replace them with abundance. The key lies in mastering your imagination, for imagination is the foundation of creation. When you imagine wealth vividly and consistently, you activate a creative power that begins to mold the world around you to match your vision. Close your eyes and picture the life you desire not as something distant or uncertain, but as something real, something present, something inevitable. Feel the joy of having it now. Feel the freedom, the security, the excitement of unlimited possibilities. The more you dwell in this state, the more real it becomes, until eventually the outer world has no choice but to align itself with your inner reality. Do not underestimate the power of feeling. It is not enough to think about wealth, you must feel it. Your emotions are the language through which you communicate with the infinite. When you feel wealthy, even if your bank account tells a different story, you are sending a signal to the universe that this is your truth. The universe, impartial and obedient, responds by rearranging circumstances to reflect that truth. This is not magic, it is law. What you feel, you attract. What you dwell upon, you become. But here lies the challenge the present moment often screams for attention. It demands that you focus on what is rather than what could be. Bills must be paid, obligations met, and hardships endured. Yet if you allow these temporary conditions to dominate your focus, you only perpetuate them. The secret is to live in the world yet not be of it. To see the circumstances before you but refuse to accept them as permanent. To acknowledge the present while steadfastly believing in the vision of your future. Every moment you are faced with a choice. Will you let the evidence of your senses dictate your beliefs, or will you let your beliefs dictate the evidence of your senses? Choose wisely, for one path leads to stagnation, and the other leads to transformation. When you shift your focus away from what is and toward what will be, you set a process in motion that cannot be stopped. You have planted the seed of wealth, and as long as you nurture it with faith and persistence, it must grow. Faith is the cornerstone of this process. Faith is not hope, it is certainty. It is knowing, without a shadow of a doubt, that your vision will become reality. When you have faith, you do not need to see immediate results to know that progress is being made. Just as the farmer trusts that the seed he plants will one day yield a harvest, so too must you trust that your vision of wealth will manifest. Doubt is the enemy of creation. To doubt is to dig up the seed before it has had a chance to grow. Guard your mind against doubt, for it has the power to undo all the work you have done. In this journey, patience is your ally. The outer world often takes time to catch up with your inner transformation. This is not a sign of failure, but a natural part of the process. Do not let impatience derail you. Persist in your imagination, no matter how long it takes. The longer you hold the vision, the stronger it becomes, and the more inevitable its manifestation. Remember, the wealth you seek is not outside of you. It is within you, waiting to be claimed. The circumstances of your life do not determine your wealth, your consciousness does. Change your consciousness, and your circumstances must follow. This is not a theory or a philosophy, it is a law, as reliable as gravity. When you align yourself with the feeling of already being wealthy, the universe responds with opportunities, ideas and resources that bring your vision to life. One of the most powerful tools you have is your words. Speak as though your wealth is already a reality. Declare it with confidence, not as something you hope for, but as something you know to be true. Words are not just sounds, they are commands that shape the fabric of reality. When you say, "I am wealthy," you are not pretending or deceiving yourself. You are affirming the truth of your inner vision, and in doing so, you are calling it into existence. Gratitude is another key to unlocking wealth. Be grateful, not only for what you have, but for what you are becoming. Gratitude creates a powerful vibration that attracts more of what you appreciate. When you give thanks for your wealth, even before it has appeared in physical form, you create a state of receptivity that allows it to flow into your life. Gratitude is the language of abundance. Use it often and watch how your reality begins to shift. Nighttime offers a unique opportunity to reinforce your vision. As you drift off to sleep, your mind is in a state of heightened receptivity. Use this time to imagine your wealthy life in vivid detail. See yourself living in the home of your dreams, traveling to the places you've always wanted to visit, sharing your abundance with those you love. Feel the emotions of gratitude and joy, as though it is all happening now. This practice imprints your vision onto your subconscious mind, which then works tirelessly to bring it to fruition. Persist in this work, even when the outer world shows no immediate signs of change. The process of creation takes time, and the greatest transformations often happen beneath the surface, invisible to the eye. Do not let appearances discourage you. Hold steadfast to your vision, knowing that it is already on its way. Reality must conform to the beliefs you hold with conviction. This is not a possibility, it is a certainty. Wealth is your birthright, but it is not something that can be claimed through effort alone. It must first be claimed in consciousness. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will tell you that you must work harder, sacrifice more, and settle for less. Do not listen to these voices. They speak from ignorance, not truth. The truth is that you are the creator of your reality, and wealth is yours for the taking when you align yourself with its frequency. Let your imagination be your guide. Let your feelings be your compass. Let your faith be your foundation. When you shift your focus away from the limitations of reality and toward the boundless possibilities of your vision, you unlock a power within you that is greater than any obstacle, greater than any challenge, greater than any circumstance. You become a magnet for wealth, a creator of abundance, a master of your destiny. The power of your focus determines the trajectory of your life. Where your attention flows, energy goes, and where energy flows, creation happens. To become super rich, you must discipline your mind to dwell not on what is lacking, but on what is abundant. This practice of shifting focus is not an escape from reality, but a deliberate act of creation. You are not ignoring the world as it appears, you are transcending it, seeing through the illusion of limitation to the infinite abundance that lies beneath. You must cultivate a vision of wealth so vivid and so compelling that it becomes more real to you than the physical circumstances surrounding you. Every day, revisit this vision. Engage with it fully. Hear the sounds, see the sights, and feel the textures of your imagined reality. When you walk, walk with the confidence of someone who has already achieved great success. When you speak, speak with the authority of one who knows their worth. By embodying this state of mind, you transform your entire being into a vessel ready to receive abundance. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, whispering that your dreams are too big or that your circumstances are too dire. Recognize these thoughts for what they are, remnants of an old mindset that no longer serves you. Do not fight them or resist them. Instead, gently redirect your focus back to your vision. The more you do this, the weaker those doubts become until they fade into the background, replaced by the certainty of your success. It is essential to guard your mind against negativity. The world is filled with voices that will try to convince you that wealth is difficult to achieve, that opportunities are scarce, or that you are undeserving. These are lies born of fear and ignorance. Do not let them take root in your consciousness. Instead, surround yourself with positive influences, books, people, and environments that uplift and inspire you. Create a sanctuary in your mind where only thoughts of abundance and possibility are allowed to enter. As you continue this journey, you will notice changes not just in your external circumstances, but in your internal state. You will feel lighter, freer, more confident. This is a sign that you are aligning with the energy of abundance. Embrace this feeling. Let it guide you in your actions, decisions, and interactions. When you operate from a place of abundance, you naturally attract opportunities that resonate with that energy. You find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people, and encountering the right ideas. Wealth is not a solitary pursuit. It is a flow, a circulation of energy that touches the lives of many. As you step into your abundance, remember to share it freely. Give generously, not out of obligation, but out of joy. When you give, you reinforce the belief that there is always more than enough. This creates a cycle of giving and receiving that multiplies your wealth many times over. Generosity is not a drain on your resources, it is a catalyst for greater abundance. Your imagination is the workshop of the soul, the place where all great achievements begin. Use it wisely. Do not squander it on idle fantasies or fearful thoughts. Instead, channel it into the creation of your ideal life. Imagine not just wealth, but also the impact you will make, the lives you will touch, and the legacy you will leave behind. Let this vision inspire you to take bold, decisive action. Each step you take in alignment with your vision brings you closer to its realization. The journey to wealth is as much about personal growth as it is about financial gain. As you expand your consciousness to include greater abundance, you will discover strengths and talents you never knew you had. You will become more resourceful, more resilient, and more attuned to the opportunities around you. This is the true wealth, the ability to create, adapt, and thrive no matter the circumstances. Money is simply a reflection of this inner richness. The process of becoming super rich is not a straight line. There will be setbacks, detours, and challenges along the way. But these are not obstacles, they are opportunities for growth. Each challenge you face is a chance to reaffirm your commitment to your vision. Do not view these moments as failures, but as stepping stones on the path to success. With each challenge you overcome, you grow stronger, more focused, and more capable of handling even greater abundance. The laws of the universe are unchanging. What you focus on expands. What you feel, you attract. What you believe, you become. These are not mere words, but principles that govern the fabric of reality. Align yourself with these laws, and there is no limit to what you can achieve. Do not wait for the perfect moment to begin, for the perfect moment is now. Start where you are, with what you have, and trust that everything else will fall into place. The wealth you desire is already yours. It exists in the unseen, waiting for you to claim it. All that is required is a shift in focus, a realignment of your thoughts and feelings with the frequency of abundance. Do not let appearances deceive you. What you see is not all that there is. Beneath the surface lies a limitless field of potential, ready to be shaped by your imagination and will. You are not a victim of circumstance, you are a creator, a master of your destiny. Let this truth guide you as you move forward. Live each day as though your wealth has already manifested. Act with confidence, speak with authority, and think with clarity. The more you embody the state of being rich, the faster it becomes your reality. This is not a matter of if but when. Hold your vision, trust the process, and know that your success is inevitable. You are destined for greatness, and nothing can stand in your way. The universe is conspiring in your favor, ready to deliver the abundance you so richly deserve. Your destiny is shaped by the thoughts you persistently entertain. If you continually see yourself in lack, your world will mirror that lack. But if you shift your focus to abundance, to the life of unimaginable wealth and joy that you desire, then your reality must align with that focus. This is not wishful thinking, it is the law. The unseen powers that govern this universe respond not to your words or hopes, but to the deep convictions of your heart. You must take this truth and live it. Walk through each day as if you have already attained the wealth you seek. Feel the security it brings, the freedom it provides, and the joy it offers. These feelings are the currency of creation. They carry the blueprint of your desires into the fabric of reality. Every time you feel grateful for a life of abundance, even if it has not yet materialized in the physical realm, you are planting seeds that will inevitably grow into your experience. Do not concern yourself with the how. The path to your riches is not your concern. Your task is to focus on the end, to live in the fulfillment of your desire, as if it were already true. The how is the work of the unseen forces that respond to your belief. Trust this process. Doubt is the only thing that can delay your progress. If doubts arise, do not fight them. Acknowledge them, and then gently return your focus to your vision. Consistency is your greatest ally. Your wealth will come through avenues you cannot predict. It may arrive as a sudden opportunity, an inspired idea, or a chance meeting. Be open to these signs and act on them with confidence. When you move in alignment with your vision, you will find that doors open effortlessly, resources appear, and circumstances rearrange themselves to support your success. This is not coincidence, it is the manifestation of your focus and belief. Money is energy, and like all energy, it flows where it is invited and stays where it is valued. To attract wealth, you must cultivate a mindset of respect and appreciation for money. See it not as something to be hoarded or feared, but as a tool for creation and contribution. When you use money with purpose and gratitude, you create a flow that brings even more into your life. This flow is infinite, as long as you remain aligned with the energy of abundance. Every moment is an opportunity to affirm your wealth. Your words, thoughts, and actions must all align with the life you are creating. Speak only of prosperity, think only of possibility, and act as if your wealth is already here. This alignment creates a powerful resonance that draws your vision into reality. It is not enough to wish for wealth, you must embody it. Be the person who is already rich, and the world will reflect that truth back to you. Imagine for a moment that you are an artist, and your life is the canvas. Your thoughts are the brushstrokes, your feelings the colors, and your actions the composition. What masterpiece are you creating? Are you painting a picture of scarcity and struggle, or one of abundance and joy? The choice is yours. You have the power to create anything you desire. All it takes is a shift in focus, a decision to see beyond the limitations of the present and into the limitless possibilities of the future. The world around you is not fixed. It is fluid, malleable, and responsive to your inner state. When you change your focus, you change the world. This is why it is so important to guard your thoughts and feelings. Do not let the negativity of others or the challenges of life distract you from your vision. Stay committed, stay focused, and stay inspired. Your persistence will pay off, and the wealth you seek will become your reality. This journey is not without its tests. There will be times when circumstances seem to contradict your vision, when the evidence of the senses tempts you to abandon your belief. These moments are not setbacks, they are opportunities to strengthen your faith. When you remain steadfast in your focus, even in the face of apparent lack, you demonstrate the power of your conviction. And it is this unwavering belief that moves mountains and creates miracles. You are not limited by your past, your circumstances, or your current resources. These are but fleeting conditions, subject to change the moment you shift your focus. Do not dwell on what has been or what is. Instead, fix your gaze firmly on what will be. The future is yours to create, and it begins now, in this moment, with the thoughts you choose to think and the feelings you choose to feel. Make them count. Your imagination is your greatest asset. It is the tool through which you shape your reality. Use it wisely. Spend time each day visualizing your ideal life in vivid detail. See yourself living in the home of your dreams, driving the car you desire, traveling to the places that inspire you. Feel the joy, the freedom, and the gratitude of having it all. This is not a mere exercise, it is a rehearsal for the life that is coming to you. As you continue to focus on your vision, you will notice subtle shifts in your world. These are the first signs of your manifestation taking form. Celebrate them, no matter how small they may seem. Each shift is a confirmation that your focus is working, that your belief is creating change. Let these signs fuel your confidence and strengthen your commitment to your vision. The wealth you desire is not just for you. It is a gift to be shared, a blessing to be multiplied. When you give from a place of abundance, you affirm the truth of your wealth. Giving is not a loss, it is an expansion. The more you give, the more you receive, for in the act of giving, you align yourself with the flow of abundance. Let your wealth be a source of joy and inspiration to others, a testament to the power of focus and belief. You are more powerful than you know. Within you lies the ability to create a life of unimaginable wealth and joy. All it takes is a shift in focus, a decision to see beyond the limitations of the present and into the infinite possibilities of the future. Trust in this power, use it wisely, and know that the wealth you seek is already yours, waiting for you to claim it. Every thought, every feeling, every action you take in alignment with this truth brings you closer to the life you desire. You are the creator of your reality, the master of your destiny, and the architect of your dreams. Embrace this truth and let it guide you to the abundance that is your birthright. When you allow your inner vision to take precedence over the outer reality, you enter a realm where anything becomes possible. This is not escapism, it is mastery. To shift your focus away from the constraints of what is and immerse yourself in the creative power of what can be is to wield the same force that brought the universe into being. You align yourself with the essence of creation itself, and in doing so you summon the resources, opportunities, and experiences necessary to fulfill your desires. There will be those who question this approach, who insist on clinging to the tangible, the measurable, and the observable. They may call your dreams unrealistic or your focus impractical. But understand this, the reality they hold so tightly to is but a reflection of their own limited beliefs. Do not let their doubts become your doubts. Stand firm in your conviction, for the power within you is greater than any opinion or circumstance. Each day you must act as the person you wish to become. This means more than visualizing your desires, it means living them in your mind and actions. Dress, speak, and carry yourself as though you are already wealthy. Let your attitude and demeanor reflect the abundance you know is yours. This is not pretension, it is preparation. You are aligning your external actions with your internal state, creating a harmony that accelerates the manifestation of your desires. You will find that as you embody this new identity, the world begins to respond differently to you. People will see the confidence in your stride, the certainty in your voice, and the vision in your eyes. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach will come knocking at your door. This is not luck or coincidence, it is the inevitable outcome of living in alignment with your vision. The universe cannot help but match the energy you project. Remember, you are not chasing wealth, you are attracting it. Chasing implies lack, a belief that what you desire is separate from you. Attraction, on the other hand, is a recognition that wealth is already yours in essence, awaiting your alignment to bring it into form. This subtle but profound shift in perspective changes everything. When you stop seeking and start embodying, you move from a state of striving to one of receiving. Gratitude is a powerful force in this process. Even before your wealth appears in tangible form, give thanks for it as though it is already here. Gratitude is the language of abundance, a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. When you feel grateful, you create a vibration that resonates with the wealth you desire, drawing it into your experience. Begin and end each day with gratitude, not just for what you have, but for what you know is on its way. Do not underestimate the power of persistence. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when the evidence of your senses seems to contradict your vision. In these moments, return to the truth of your inner world. Reaffirm your focus and remind yourself that the outer reality is merely a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It is in these moments of challenge that your faith is tested and strengthened. Stay the course, for the reward is worth every ounce of effort. As you navigate this journey, be mindful of the stories you tell yourself and others. Words are not just expressions, they are declarations of your belief. Speak only of abundance, possibility, and success. Avoid the temptation to complain or dwell on limitations, for every word you speak reinforces a reality. Let your words be a reflection of the life you are creating, not the life you are leaving behind. Time is not your enemy, it is your ally. Trust in the divine timing of your manifestations. The universe operates with precision, orchestrating events and circumstances in ways that may be invisible to you. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean it is not happening. Trust that every step you take, every thought you think, and every feeling you cultivate is moving you closer to your goal. Patience is not passive, it is an active state of faith. Surround yourself with images, symbols, and reminders of the wealth you desire. Create a vision board, write affirmations, or place objects in your environment that evoke the feelings of abundance. These physical representations serve as anchors for your focus, keeping your vision alive and vibrant. They remind you of what you are creating and reinforce your commitment to the process. Do not fear failure or setbacks. They are not signs that you are off course, but rather opportunities for growth and refinement. Each challenge you face is a lesson, each obstacle a stepping stone. Embrace them as part of your journey. knowing that they are shaping you into the person who can sustain the wealth you are attracting. Failure is not the end, it is a necessary ingredient in the recipe for success. Your imagination is infinite, and so are your possibilities. Do not limit your vision to what seems reasonable or attainable. Dream boldly, for the size of your vision determines the size of your success. The universe does not recognize limits, it responds to the energy and clarity of your focus. If you can imagine it and believe in it, you can achieve it. Let your imagination be the blueprint for the life of wealth and joy you desire. Take time each day to connect with the stillness within you. This is where your true power lies, in the quiet depths of your being. In this stillness, you can access the wisdom, guidance, and inspiration that will light your path. Meditation, prayer, or simply moments of silence can help you reconnect with your inner world and realign with your vision. This is not a luxury, it is a necessity for those who seek to create extraordinary lives. You are not alone in this journey. There is a force greater than you, a divine intelligence that supports and guides you. Trust in this power and know that it is always working on your behalf. When you feel overwhelmed or uncertain, surrender your doubts to this higher power. Let it carry your burdens and illuminate your path. Faith is not a weakness, it is the greatest strength you can possess. Your wealth is not just a destination, it is a journey of transformation. As you align with abundance, you will discover strengths, talents, and capacities within yourself that you never knew existed. You will grow in confidence, wisdom, and compassion. The person you become in the process of attracting wealth is the greatest reward of all. Let this journey be as much about who you are becoming as it is about what you are achieving. The power to create wealth lies within you, waiting to be awakened. It is not something you must acquire or achieve, it is something you must realize. The moment you shift your focus, you activate this power and set into motion the forces that will bring your desires into reality. Do not wait for permission or approval. Claim your power now and let it guide you to the life of abundance and joy that is your birthright. In closing, remember that the journey to extraordinary wealth and abundance begins and ends within you. It is not a matter of external circumstances or luck, but a deliberate shift in focus, belief, and imagination. As you align your thoughts with your desires and embody the person you wish to become, the world around you will inevitably reshape itself to reflect this new reality. Trust the process, remain steadfast in your vision, and nurture unwavering faith in the unseen. You are a creator, a vessel of infinite potential, and the architect of your destiny. Let your imagination lead, let gratitude anchor you, and let persistence carry you forward. The wealth you seek is already yours in essence. Claim it boldly, live it fully, and let it flow effortlessly into your experience. The life of your dreams is not just possible, it is waiting for you to embrace it.
My dear friends, the topic of our discourse is mindset is everything. And I assure you, this is not mere rhetoric or empty motivation. What I'm about to share with you is the very essence of creation, the foundation of reality itself. Let us begin by understanding what we mean by mindset. Your mindset is not simply your thoughts or your attitudes. It is the very state of consciousness from which you operate. It is the I am that precedes all manifestation. When we say mindset is everything, we are declaring a fundamental truth of the universe. Consciousness is the only reality. Now, I want you to listen closely, for this understanding is crucial. Your outer world, every circumstance and condition of your life, is nothing more than the outpicturing of your inner world. The world you see and experience is a reflection, a shadow of your state of consciousness. This is why your mindset, your state of being, is everything. Consider for a moment the biblical phrase, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. This word, this logos, is not separate from you. It is your very consciousness, your I am. When you declare I am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. Your mindset, your state of consciousness, is this word made flesh. Let me illustrate this principle with a simple example. Imagine two individuals facing the same external circumstance. Let's say the loss of a job. The first individual, operating from a mindset of lack and limitation, might think, I am unemployed. I am a failure. I will never find another job. This becomes their state of consciousness. Their I am. And the outer world, being a perfect reflection of this inner state, will conform to confirm this belief. Now consider the second individual. They face the same external event, but their mindset, their state of consciousness is entirely different. They might declare, I am in transition. I am open to new opportunities. I am capable and valuable. This becomes their I am, and the outer world must, by law, reflect and confirm this state of consciousness. You see, my dear friends, your mindset is not just a passive observer of reality. It is the active creator of your reality. Your state of consciousness is the cause, and the world you experience is the effect. This is why mindset is everything. Now, let us delve deeper into this principle. Many of you might be wondering, if my mindset creates my reality, why do I experience circumstances that I do not consciously desire? This is a crucial question, and its answer lies in understanding the nature of consciousness itself. Your consciousness, your mindset, operates on multiple levels. There's your surface consciousness, your waking thoughts and desires. But beneath this lies your deeper consciousness, your habitual state of being, often shaped by years of accumulated beliefs and assumptions about yourself and the world. It is this deeper state of consciousness, this habitual mindset, that truly shapes your reality. You might consciously desire wealth, but if your deeper mindset, your habitual state of being, is one of lack and limitation, it is this deeper state that will be made manifest in your outer world. This is why simply thinking positive thoughts or making affirmations is not enough to change your reality. You must go deeper. You must change your very state of being, your fundamental mindset about yourself and the world. How do we accomplish this? How do we change our deepest mindset, our habitual state of consciousness? The answer lies in the power of imagination. Your imagination is not mere fantasy or daydreaming. It is the very workshop of creation. When you imagine, you are engaging the creative power of the universe. Because none of the words of William Blake. What is now proved was once only imagined. Everything in your world, from the chair you sit on to the most advanced technology, was once only a state of consciousness, an imagined reality, before it became a tangible fact. This is the secret of changing your mindset, of transforming your reality. You must use your imagination to create a new state of consciousness, a new mindset, and then occupy that state as if it were already a fact. This is what I mean when I speak of living from the end. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose you desire financial abundance, but your current mindset, your habitual state of consciousness, is one of lack and struggle. To change this, you must create a new state of consciousness, a new mindset of abundance. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine yourself in a state of financial abundance. See yourself living in the home of your dreams, engaging in work that you love, enjoying the freedom and security that comes with true abundance. But don't just see it, feel it. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of ease and fulfillment that comes with this state of being. Here's the crucial pause. You must occupy this state, this mindset of abundance, as if it were already a fact. You must live from this state in your imagination until it becomes your new habitual state of consciousness. Remember, your imagination is not creating the reality. It's creating the new state of consciousness, the new mindset from which your new reality will naturally flow. This principle applies to every aspect of your life. Whatever you desire to be, do or have, you must first create it as a state of consciousness, a mindset, and then occupy that state as if it were already a fact. This is the true meaning of faith. The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds like self-deception. How can I pretend to be something I'm not? My dear friends, let me assure you, this is not deception. This is the deepest truth of your being. You are not pretending to be something you're not. You are claiming your true identity as a creative being made in the image and likeness of God. Remember, consciousness is the only reality. When you assume a new state of consciousness, when you adopt a new mindset, You are not lying to yourself. You are aligning yourself with a deeper truth, a truth that already exists in the infinite realm of possibility. Consider the words of Jesus. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it would be yours. This is not a promise of future fulfillment. It is a statement of present fact. When you truly believe, when you fully occupy the state of consciousness, the mindset of having received your desire, it is yours. The outer world must conform to this inner reality. Now let us address a common misconception. Many people believe that changing their mindset, their state of consciousness, should result in instant changes in their outer world. While this can sometimes happen, more often there is a period of transition, what I call the interval of time. This interval does not negate the truth of your new state of consciousness. It is simply the time it takes for the outer world to rearrange itself to match your new inner reality. During this time, it is crucial that you maintain your new mindset, your new state of consciousness. Do not be swayed by appearances. Remember, the outer world is the effect, not the cause. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you nurture it, and you trust in the natural process of growth. The same is true of your new mindset. Once you have planted the seed of your new state of consciousness, nurture it with your continued assumption, and trust in the natural law of manifestation. This brings us to another crucial aspect of mindset: persistence. Your new state of consciousness, your new mindset, must be maintained consistently. It's not enough to imagine your desired reality once and then return to your old state of consciousness. You must persist in your new state until it becomes your natural, habitual mindset. This persistence is what separates those who truly transform their lives from those who merely dabble in positive thinking. It requires discipline, faith, and a deep understanding of the creative power of consciousness. But I assure you, the rewards are beyond measure. Now, let us address a question that often arises when discussing the power of mindset. Many ask, if my consciousness creates my reality, am I responsible for everything in my life, including the negative experiences? This is a profound question, and its answer requires a deep understanding of the nature of consciousness. Firstly, understand that much of your current reality is the result of past states of consciousness, mindsets that you may have occupied without full awareness. We are all on a journey of awakening, of becoming increasingly conscious creators of our reality. Secondly, remember that your individual consciousness is part of a larger collective consciousness. You are not an island, but a wave in the vast ocean of universal consciousness. While your individual mindset is incredibly powerful, it also interacts with the collective mindset of humanity. However, this does not diminish your creative power. It simply means that your mindset, your state of consciousness, determines how you experience and interact with the collective reality. Two people can face the same external circumstance and have entirely different experiences based on their individual mindsets. This understanding should not lead to guilt or self-blame for past experiences, but rather to empowerment. Knowing that your mindset creates your reality means that you have the power to change your reality by changing your mindset. This is true freedom. Let us now explore how this understanding of mindset as the creator of reality applies to various aspects of life. Take, for example, your relationships. Many people believe that they are at the mercy of others' behaviors and attitudes. They think, if only my partner would change, then I would be happy. But remember, your experience of others is a reflection of your own state of consciousness, your own mindset. If you consistently experience difficult relationships, look within. What is your mindset about relationships? You believe that love is scarce, that people always let you down, that you're not worthy of love. To change your relationship experiences, you must first change your mindset about relationships. Imagine yourself in loving, fulfilling relationships. Feel the joy, the connection, the mutual respect. Occupy this state of consciousness as if it were already a fact. As you persist in this new mindset, you will find your outer world of relationships transforming to match your inner reality. The same principle applies to your career and financial situation. Many believe that their income is determined by external factors, the economy, their employer, their level of education. But I tell you, your financial reality is a direct reflection of your mindset about money and success. If you consistently struggle financially, examine your mindset. Do you believe that money is scarce? That you have to work hard for every penny? That wealth is for others but not for you? These beliefs, these states of consciousness are creating your financial reality. To change this, you must adopt a new mindset, a new state of consciousness regarding money and success. Imagine yourself in a state of abundance. Feel the freedom, the security, the joy of financial prosperity. Live from this state in your imagination until it becomes your natural mindset. As you do this, you will find your outer world rearranging itself to match this new inner reality. Now let's address the realm of health and well-being. Many believe that their health is determined solely by genetics, diet, and external factors. While these play a role, I tell you that your health is primarily a reflection of your state of consciousness, your mindset about health in your body. If you constantly experience health issues, look at your mindset. Do you believe that your body is fragile, that illness is inevitable as you age, that you're at the mercy of every germ and virus? These beliefs, these states of consciousness are shaping your health reality. To transform your health, you must adopt a new mindset, a new state of consciousness regarding your body and well-being. Imagine yourself in a state of vibrant health. Feel the energy, the vitality, the joy of a body in perfect balance. Occupy this state as if it were already a fact. As you persist in this new mindset, you will find your body responding, aligning itself with this new inner reality. Now I want to address a common concern. Many of you might be thinking, but Neville, I've tried positive thinking before and it didn't work. My dear friends, what I'm sharing with you goes far beyond mere positive thinking. This is about fundamentally shifting your state of being, your very identity. Positive thinking often remains at the surface level of consciousness, like trying to calm the waves on top of the ocean. What we're discussing is diving deep into the ocean itself, changing the very currents that create the waves. This is why I emphasize the importance of feeling, of experiencing your desired state as if it were already a fact. It's not enough to think about what you want. You must become it in your imagination. You must feel the naturalness of it, the reality of it, until it becomes your dominant state of. Remember, your subconscious mind, which is the true creator of your reality, does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. When you consistently occupy a state in your imagination, feeling its reality, your subconscious accepts it as fact and proceeds to bring it into your outer reality. This is the true power of mindset. It's not about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts. It's about choosing a new state of being and occupying it so fully in your imagination that it becomes your new reality. Now let us address another crucial aspect of mindset. Your concept of self. Your fundamental beliefs about who you are, what you're capable of, and what you deserve form the core of your mindset. These beliefs shape every aspect of your life experience. Many of you are walking around with a concept of self that was given to you by others, your parents, your teachers, your society. You've accepted these beliefs about yourself without question, and they've become the foundation of your mindset, the lens through which you view and experience the world. But I tell you, you have the power to choose your concept of self. You are not bound by the limitations others have placed upon you, or even the limitations you've placed upon yourself in the past. You can, at any moment, decide to adopt a new concept of self. This is what it means to be made in the image and likeness of God. You have the divine power of self-definition. You can declare, I am, and whatever follows the declaration becomes your reality. This is the ultimate creative power of mindset. So I ask you, who do you choose to be? What concept of self will you adopt? Will you continue to accept a limited, fearful, or unworthy concept of self? Or will you claim your divine birthright and declare yourself to be the magnificent, powerful, worthy being that you truly are? Remember, this is not about ego or arrogance. This is about aligning yourself with the truth of your being. You are divine creation endowed with infinite potential. Your mindset, your concept of self should reflect this truth. As you adopt this elevated concept of self, this empowering mindset, you will find your outer world transforming to match this inner reality. Opportunities will appear, relationships will improve, abundance will flow, because the outer must always conform to the inner. Now let us discuss the practical application of this understanding. How do you go about changing your mindset, your state of consciousness, in a way that truly transforms your reality? The key lies in what I call the law of assumption. This law states that if you assume a state and persist in that assumption, it must become your reality. This is not wishful thinking or idle fantasy. This is a fundamental law of consciousness. To apply this law, you must first clearly define the state you wish to occupy. What is the mindset? The state of consciousness that would naturally result in the life you desire. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Feel it. Experience it as vividly as you can in your imagination. Then, you must assume this state. You must step into it fully in your imagination, occupying it as if it were already your reality. Feel the naturalness of it. Experience the emotions that would accompany the state. It is a practical technique. Before you fall asleep at night, imagine a scene that would imply your desired state has become your reality. Perhaps it's a congratulatory conversation with a friend, or simply looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing the confident, successful person you desire to be. Make this scene as vivid and real as possible. Feel it. Experience it fully. As you fall asleep in this state, you are impressing this new reality upon your subconscious mind. Remember, your subconscious does not distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is actually experienced in the outer world. By falling asleep in this state, you are planting the seed of your new reality in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. Repeat this process night after night. During your waking hours, whenever you think of your desire, return to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Live from the assumption that what you desire is already a fact. Now here's where many people falter. They do this for a day or two, and when they don't see immediate results in their outer world, they give up. They return to their old mindset, their old state of consciousness. But remember what we said about the interval of time. Your outer world may take some time to rearrange itself to match your new inner reality. This is where persistence becomes crucial. You must maintain your new state, your new mindset, regardless of appearances. Remember, the outer world is the effect, not the cause. Persist in your assumption, and the outer world must eventually conform. This persistence requires faith. Not blind faith, but faith based on understanding. Faith in the law of consciousness. Faith that your inner world is the true reality, and that the outer must conform to the inner. As you persist in your new state, you will begin to see signs of your new reality manifesting in your outer world. These may be small at first, a chance comment from a friend, an unexpected opportunity, a shift in how people respond to you. These are confirmations that your new mindset is taking root, that your new reality is beginning to manifest. Do not disregard these signs, no matter how small they may seem. They are the first fruits of your new state of consciousness, the early evidence that your mindset is indeed everything. As you continue to persist in your new state, as you maintain your new mindset with unwavering faith, you will witness a complete transformation of your reality. The person you have imagined yourself to be will become the person you are in every aspect of your life. Your relationships, your career, your health, your finances, all will align with your new state of consciousness. This is the ultimate proof that mindset is everything. It is the foundation of your reality, the source of all creation in your world. Remember, my dear friends, you are the operant power in your world. Your mindset, your state of consciousness, is the creative force that shapes your entire existence. Choose it wisely, persist in it faithfully, and watch as your world transforms to match the grandeur you're envisioning. For truly, mindset is everything.
The world you perceive with your physical senses is not the cause of your experience, but the effect. The true cause lies within you, in your consciousness, in your imagination. This is the foundation of the law of assumption. The law of assumption states that if you assume a state and persist in it, it must become your reality. This law is not subject to your belief or disbelief. It operates regardless of your conscious acceptance. It is as constant as the law of gravity. Just as an object must fall when released, so must your assumptions manifest in your physical reality. Now, you might be thinking, but Neville, how can I ignore the reality of my current financial situation? How can I assume wealth when my bank account shows otherwise? This, my dear friends, is where the true test of faith comes in. For faith is not believing in spite of evidence, but believing in spite of appearance. Remember, your physical reality is nothing more than the outpicturing of your past assumptions. It is the harvest of seeds you have previously sown in your consciousness. To change your reality, you must plant new seeds. You must assume a new state. Let us delve deeper into this concept. When I speak of assuming a state, I am not talking about mere positive thinking or affirmations. I am speaking of a complete embodiment of the state you desire. You must think from the state of wealth, not of wealth. Imagine for a moment that you are already wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. How would you think? How would you feel? How would you carry yourself? What decisions would you make? This is not a game of make-believe. This is the active creation of a new reality. You see, your imagination is not a separate part of you. It is the very essence of your being. It is God in action within you. When you imagine, you are literally shaping the substance of the universe. Your imaginal acts are the causes set in motion that will inevitably manifest in your physical world. Now, some of you might be wondering, but how long will it take for my assumption to manifest? This is a common question, but it reveals a misunderstanding of the nature of time and manifestation. In the realm of imagination, there is no time. Your desire is fulfilled the moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The time it takes for your assumption to appear in your physical reality is determined by your faith and your persistence in the assumed state. The more faithfully you persist in your assumption, living and acting as though it were already true, the more quickly it will externalize in your world. Let me give you an example. Suppose you desire to be wealthy. Instead of focusing on the lack of money in your current reality, you would assume the state of wealth. You would sleep as though you were sleeping in the most luxurious bed. You would eat as though you were dining in the finest restaurants. You would walk and talk and think as a wealthy person does. This is not pretense or self-deception. This is the active use of your creative power. For remember, the world is yourself pushed out. Everyone and everything in your world is a reflection of your consciousness. As you assume the state of wealth, the world must rearrange itself to match your assumption. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Don't I need to do something to become wealthy? Of course, action has its place. But understand this, action does not create. Action only expresses. The true creative power lies in your assumption. When you truly assume the state of wealth, inspired action will naturally follow. You will find yourself making decisions and taking steps that align with your new state of consciousness. These actions will not feel like effort or struggle. They will feel natural, even inevitable. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no power to create or to change. All creation happens first in consciousness. Your job is not to manipulate the outer world, but to change your inner world. As you change within, the outer must conform. Now, let us address a common obstacle in this process, the evidence of your senses. Your physical senses will continue to show you your old reality for a time. This is where many falter. They look at their current circumstances and say, see, nothing has changed. It's not working. But I tell you now, this period of seemingly unchanged circumstances is crucial. It is the interval between your assumption and its manifestation in the physical world. It is the period where your faith is tested. Will you persist in your new assumption, or will you return to your old state? During this time, you must be like the farmer who has planted his seeds. He does not dig them up every day to see if they have sprouted. He trusts in the law of growth. He knows that in due time his crop will appear. So must you trust in the law of assumption. Remember, what you are seeing in your physical reality is the result of your past assumptions. It has no power over your future unless you give it power through your continued assumption. Ignore the evidence of your senses. Persist in your new assumption. Live from the end. Now let us delve deeper into the concept of living from the end. This is not about visualizing a future state. It is about experiencing your desire as a present fact. When you truly live from the end, you are not trying to get something. You are experiencing the state of already having it. Imagine you have a friend who lives in another city. When you think of this friend, you don't visualize them or affirm their existence. You simply know they exist. This is the kind of knowing you must have about your desired state of wealth. It should be as real and as natural to you as the existence of your distant friend. This state of knowing, of living from the end, is what truly activates the law of assumption. It aligns your entire being, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions with the reality of your desire. And in this alignment, miracles happen. Now, some of you might be wondering about the role of emotion in this process. Emotion is crucial. It is the fuel that gives life to your assumption. When you assume a state, you must feel the reality of it. You must experience the joy, the excitement, the gratitude of already being wealthy. But here's a key point. These emotions should not be intense or forced. They should be natural, calm, the kind of quiet joy you feel when you think already possess. Remember, you are not trying to convince yourself of something. You are simply acknowledging what is already true in your consciousness. Let us now address another common concern. What if doubts arise? Doubts are natural. They are the old man, the old state of consciousness fighting to survive. But understand this, doubts have no power unless you give them power through your attention and belief. When doubts arise, do not fight them. Do not give them energy by arguing with them. Simply return to your assumed state. Gently but firmly bring your attention back to the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Remember, what you focus on expands. Focus on your new state, not on your doubts. Now, let's talk about the concept of revision. Revision is a powerful tool in ignoring reality and assuming wealth. Each night before you sleep, review the events of your day, but do not review them as they appear to your senses. Revise them to align with your desired state of wealth. If you encountered a financial challenge during the day, revise it. See it as an opportunity that led to greater wealth. If you had a negative interaction related to money, revise it. See it as a positive, prosperous exchange. You are not denying what happened. You are actively reshaping your memory and thus your future. Remember, your memories are not fixed. They are fluid, constantly being reconstructed. By consciously revising your memories, you are literally rewriting your past. And as you change your past in your imagination, you change the trajectory of your future. Now, let us discuss the importance of persistence. Assuming a new state is not a one-time event. It is a continuous choice. You must persist in your new state, even when the outer world shows no sign of change. This persistence is what distinguishes those who successfully manifest their desires from those who do not. You think of it like this: when you move to a new home, you don't wake up each morning wondering where you are. You naturally assume your new surroundings. This is how you must be with your assumed state of wealth. It should become your new normal, your new home state. But what if you falter? What if you find yourself slipping back into your old state of consciousness? Do not despair. Simply acknowledge it and return to your assumed state. Remember, you are breaking lifelong habits of thought and feeling. It takes practice. Be patient with yourself, but be persistent. Now, let's address a crucial point. The law of assumption is not about manipulating external circumstances. It's about aligning yourself with the reality you desire. When you assume the state of wealth, you're not trying to force money to come to you. You're becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts wealth. This distinction is important. Many people approach manifestation with a mindset of lack, trying to get something they believe they don't have. But in truth, all that you desire already exists in the infinite possibilities of the universe. Your job is not to create wealth, but to align yourself with the wealth that already exists. Think of it like tuning a radio. All stations are broadcasting simultaneously, but you can only hear the one you're tuned into. When you assume the state of wealth, you're tuning yourself to the frequency of abundance. You're not creating the broadcast, you're aligning yourself to receive it. Now let's delve into the concept of detachment. This might seem contradictory to what we've discussed about assuming the state of wealth, but it's actually complementary. Detachment doesn't mean not caring about your desire. It means releasing your anxious attachment to how or when it will manifest. When you're anxiously attached to the outcome, you're actually affirming the lack of your desire. You're saying, I want this because I don't have it. This state of consciousness keeps your desire at arm's length, always in the future, never in the now. True detachment comes from the deep knowing that your desire is already yours in consciousness, and therefore must manifest in your physical reality. It's a state of calm expectancy, of knowing the law is at work, even when you can't see the evidence yet. This detachment allows you to truly live in the end. You're not waiting for something to happen. You're simply being who you are, a wealthy person. This state of being is far more powerful than any amount of doing or trying. Now let's discuss the concept of everyone is you pushed out. This principle states that everyone in your world is a reflection of your consciousness. The way people treat you, the opportunities that come your way, even the seemingly random events in your life, all are reflections of your state of being. This understanding brings with it a great responsibility. It means that if you want to experience a world of abundance and prosperity, you must first embody those qualities within yourself. As you assume the state of wealth, you will naturally see others differently, and they will respond differently to you. During this process of assuming wealth, be aware of how you perceive others. Are your perceptions aligned with your desired reality? If not, consciously choose to see others in a way that supports your assumption of wealth. See others as prosperous, generous, supportive of your success. Remember, you are not manipulating others. You are simply aligning your perception with your desired reality, and others will naturally conform to this new perception. Now, let's talk about the power of your words. Your words are not just sounds or symbols. They are creative forces. They are declarations to the universe. When you assume the state of wealth, your words must align with this new state. Speak as though you are already wealthy. Use phrases like I am wealthy instead of I will be wealthy. Speak of abundance, not of lack. Describe your financial situations in positive terms, even if your physical senses tell you otherwise. This is not about lying or denying your current circumstances. It's about aligning your speech with the reality you are assuming. Remember, your words are seeds planted in the fertile soil of the universe. Make sure you're planting seeds of abundance, not of lack. Now let's address a common pitfall. Comparing yourself to others. In your journey of assuming wealth, you might be tempted to look at others and measure your progress against theirs. This is a trap. Remember, everyone is you pushed out. What you see in others is a reflection of your own consciousness. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own journey. Your only competition is with your previous self. Are you more aligned with the state of wealth today than you were yesterday? That's the only comparison that matters. Let's delve deeper into the concept of faith. Faith is not wishful thinking or blind belief. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is a knowing beyond physical evidence. When you have true faith in your assumed state of wealth, you don't hope for it to manifest. You know it must manifest as surely as you know the sun will rise tomorrow. This kind of faith doesn't ignore your current reality. It sees beyond it. It recognizes that your physical reality is just a shadow, a reflection of past assumptions. Your new assumption of wealth, held with unwavering faith, is the new cause set in motion that must produce new effects. Now, let's discuss the importance of gratitude in this process. Gratitude is not just a polite sentiment. It is a powerful creative force. When you are truly grateful, you are acknowledging the presence of your desire in your life. You are affirming its reality even before it manifests in the physical realm. During this process of assuming wealth, cultivate a deep sense of gratitude. Be thankful not just for what you can see and touch, but for the unseen blessings that are even now unfolding in your life. Give thanks for the wisdom that guides you, the abundance that surrounds you, and the power that resides within you. Gratitude puts you in a state of receptivity. It opens you to receive even greater blessings. It aligns you with the abundance of the universe. Practice gratitude not from a place of lack, hoping to receive, but from a place of fullness, knowing you already have. Now, let's address the concept of the Sabbath. The Sabbath in this context is not about a particular day of the week, but about a state of mind. It is a state of complete rest from all effort, a state of knowing that your work is done. In the process of assuming wealth, the Sabbath state is crucial. It is the state of total acceptance of your desires, an accomplished fact. In this state, you no longer feel the need to make your desire happen, because you know it is already done. Practice entering the Sabbath state. After you've done your imaginal act, after you've assumed the feeling of wealth, consciously enter a state of rest. Release all anxiety, all need to make it happen. Know that the law is at work, and your only task now is to remain in the state of wealth. Now, let's discuss the concept of dimensional shifting. This is the idea that for every possible reality, there is a version of you already experiencing it. Your task in assuming wealth is not to create something new, but to shift your consciousness to align with the version of you that is already wealthy. Practice thinking from the perspective of the wealthy you. How would that version of you think? How would they feel? What decisions would they make? Align yourself with this version of you, and you will naturally shift into the reality where wealth is your normal state. Let's delve into the concept of the law of reverse effort. This law states that the harder you try to achieve something, the more you push it away. This is why so many people struggle to manifest their desires. They are trying too hard, and in their effort, they are actually affirming the lack of what they want. In assuming wealth, you must release all effort. You are not trying to get rich. You are simply acknowledging the wealth that is already yours in consciousness. This state of effortless acceptance is far more powerful than any amount of striving or struggling. Now let's address the concept of the bridge of incidence. When you assume a new state, a series of events is set in motion to bring about the manifestation of your desire. This series of events is called the bridge of incidents. The key here is to trust the bridge. You don't need to know how your assumption of wealth will manifest. Your job is simply to maintain your assumption and allow the bridge to unfold naturally. Each event, each encounter, each seeming coincidence is a part of this bridge, leading you to the full manifestation of your assumed wealth. Let's discuss the importance of self-concept in assuming wealth. Your self-concept is the sum total of your beliefs about yourself. It is the foundation upon which all your experiences are built. If you want to manifest wealth, you must first see yourself as someone who is naturally wealthy. Work on changing your self-concept. See yourself as someone who is good with money, who attracts abundance effortlessly, who lives in a state of prosperity. As you change your self-concept, you change the foundation of your reality. Now let's address the role of action in this process. While it's true that assumption is the foundation of manifestation, inspired action often plays a part. The key word here is inspire. When you truly assume the state of wealth, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take actions that align with this state. These inspired actions will not feel like effort or struggle. They will feel natural, even inevitable. You won't be taking action to get rich. You'll be taking action because that's what a wealthy person would naturally do. Let's delve into the concept of revision once more. Revision is not just about changing your memories of past events. It's about reinterpreting your entire life story in a way that supports your assumed state of wealth. See your past challenges as stepping stones that led you to your current prosperity. Reframe past financial struggles as valuable lessons that prepared you for the wealth you now enjoy. Remember, your past does not determine your future unless you carry it with you. Through revision, you can create a new past that naturally leads to your wealthy present and future. This isn't about denying what happened, but about changing its meaning and its impact on your consciousness. Now let's discuss the importance of living in the end. This means experiencing your desire as a present fact, not a future possibility. When you live in the end, you're not hoping to become wealthy. You're experiencing the reality of being wealthy now in your imagination. This state of living in the end collapses time. It brings your desire into the present moment, making its manifestation inevitable. Remember, in the realm of imagination, there is no time. Your desire is fulfilled the moment you assume the feeling of its fulfillment with conviction. Let's address the concept of everyone as you pushed out once more. In your journey of assuming wealth, you will encounter various people and situations. Remember, these are all reflections of your consciousness. The supportive business partner, the generous client, the unexpected opportunity, or you pushed out, reflecting your assumed state of wealth. As you persist in your assumption of wealth, you'll find that people and circumstances naturally align with your new state. You're not changing others, you're changing yourself. And others must conform to your new concept of self. Now, let's delve into the power of silence. After you have done your imaginal act, after you have assumed the feeling of wealth, there comes a time for silence. This silence is not just external, but internal. It's a cessation of all inner chatter about your desire. In this silence, you allow the seed of your assumed wealth to take root and grow. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust in the law, knowing that what is done in consciousness must manifest in reality. Let's discuss the concept of the law of attraction versus the law of assumption. While both laws deal with manifestation, the law of assumption is more powerful. The law of attraction suggests that you attract what you focus on. The law of assumption states that you manifest what you claim as true. In assuming wealth, you're not trying to attract money to you. You're claiming wealth as your current reality. This subtle shift makes all the difference. You're not reaching for something outside yourself. You're acknowledging what is already true within you. Now, let's address the importance of persistence. Assuming a new state is not a one-time event. It's a continuous choice. You must persist in your new state, even when the outer world shows no sign of change. This persistence is what distinguishes those who successfully manifest their desires from those who do not. Think of it like learning a new language. At first it feels unnatural, even difficult. But with persistent practice, it becomes second nature. The same is true for your new state of wealth. Persist and it will become your new normal. Let's delve into the concept of quantum jumping. This is the idea that you can shift your consciousness to a reality where your desire is already fulfilled. In assuming wealth, you're quantum jumping to a reality where you are already wealthy. This isn't about physically jumping to a different universe. It's about aligning your consciousness with a version of reality where your desire is fulfilled. As you persist in this new state, your physical reality must reshape itself to match. Now let's discuss the importance of self-love in this process. Self-love is not vanity. It's a recognition of your true nature as a divine being worthy of all good things. Without self-love, you may subconsciously block your manifestations, feeling unworthy of receiving them. As you assume the state of wealth, cultivate deep self-love. Know that you are deserving of abundance. This self-love will align you with the frequency of wealth, making its manifestation effortless. In conclusion, remember that the power to create your reality lies within you. Ignoring the apparent reality of your senses and assuming the state of wealth is not about denial. It's about recognizing the true creative power of your consciousness. As you persist in your assumption, as you live from the end, as you align every aspect of your being with the reality of wealth, you will find your outer world reshaping itself to match your inner state. The power is yours. Use it wisely and watch as your assumption of wealth manifests in ways beyond your wildest dreams.